Hi, Kevin. So far in the series, the top order hasn't quite fired. It's been under a lot of pressure. How important is it tomorrow that um, they find some form and spend some time out in the middle?
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think if you look over the last 12 or 18 months, anytime we've put up a big score of close to 300, one of the top 4 or 5 has got in and got a big score. So, we know that as a team. It's no hidden secret of around one-day cricket. If one of your batters can get a big score, a big 100, it puts you in a great position. So, unfortunately, the first 2 games of the series, we haven't done that. And, we're hoping to put it right tomorrow.
Did you put that down to rustiness, lack of game time, or?
I'm not too sure, really. I mean, we've trained hard for the last 3 or 4 weeks over here, and we had 2 or 3 weeks back home. So we've had a lot of net practice, but I suppose you can only really replicate matches with matches. So only coming off 2 proper games and a warm-up game, before the first ODI. So it could be a bit of rustiness. It could be a bit of concentration. Who knows? It's hard to put a finger on, but it's just unfortunately we haven't been 100% with the bat. But all credit to England, they've bowled well in the first 8 or 9 overs of both innings.
And how have you found kind of that role of trying to absorb the pressure that's been put on you from that top 5 collapse? I mean, have you enjoyed that, taking that role on, or?
Well, I don't think you really enjoy coming into the wicket at 15 for 3. But it's obviously the situation dictated how to play, and ultimately for me, I just try and play my own natural game, whether it's 15 for 3 or 150 for 3. I still look to be positive and try to put pressure on the opposition bowlers as much as I can. So facing a good attack like this, the bad balls don't come as often, so it's important to rotate the strike with try and get as many singles as you can off their good balls, and when they do bowl a bad ball, you put it away to the boundary. And it's something that we've spoken a lot about in the past, is trying to be more proactive when we bat, and hopefully we see that tomorrow.
And tomorrow, obviously, the series is gone, but there's still World Cup Super League points up for grabs. How important is it that you try and get 10 on the board by the end of tomorrow?
Yeah, it's hugely important. It's obviously 10 points up for grabs, but it's also another game for the Irish team, and we're playing our biggest enemy. So obviously we want to beat England anytime we play them. The series is gone, as you said, but there's still a huge amount of pride to play for everyone individually and also as a team. So we've got a lot to prove, especially with the bat, as you said. So as a batting unit, we're looking to put that right tomorrow.
And just one last one from me. I spoke to Curtis Camphor this morning, and he said that you were one of his heroes and that he really enjoyed batting with you last Thursday. Just a word on that, a response maybe?
Yeah, it's obviously, it's nice to hear a young kid is, grown up, and, he states me as one of his heroes. But, it's ultimately for me, he's a teammate now, so for me, if I can give him any advice that, he needs going forward to bring his game to the next level, I'm willing to do that. He's obviously had a great start to his international career, and, a lot of people are expecting a lot of high things from him. You got to remember he's only, 20 years old, or 21, he's only played 2 games. So I try and stress to people in the media and in the general public around Irish cricket, don't expect too much too early from him. He's had a great start, but he's still very, very young. So he's obviously got a lot of talent, but we've got to let him, improve at his own rate and find his game as quickly as he can. But, ultimately, if I can give him any advice, certainly will.
Thank you. Go well tomorrow.
Thanks.
Ian.
Hi, Kevin. Comfortably the oldest player on the team now. Do you feel extra responsibility?
Well, I think it's been that way for a few years now. Well, a couple of years now, since, Niler and Joycey probably stepped away, and obviously Mertz last year. So, we still have a lot of experience in the group. Boyd and Porty are around, and Wills is, only a couple of years younger than me. So I think the 4 of us certainly have a huge role to play, and not just on the field, but certainly off it with the next, generation in inverted commas. So, any advice we can give them if they're willing to come and talk to us, certainly my door is always open. So it's a pressure that, it's a good thing for us, certainly myself, and, speaking for myself, it's with a career potentially in mind of coaching. It's something that I have subconsciously probably tried to do over the last 2 or 3 years is give as much advice as I can at trainings and, off the field to the younger guys to try and bring them forward. So, yeah, it's a nice challenge to have as an older member and a senior player in the squad.
And just your take on the first two games. Obviously, the second game, once again, a case of souvenir yet so far.
Yeah, I think the bowlers have bowled well. They've looked to take wickets all the time, and I think from a batting point of view, that's something that we can really look to try and be positive all the time. I think we're a better team all around when we take the aggressive approach, as we've seen in the last 12 or 18 months, in all formats. So I think from the batting point of view, if we can look to put the pressure on the England bowlers as early as we can try and get on top.
Cheers.
Matt Rowland.
Hi, Kevin. We were sort of talking coming into the series about the need for the young players to step up. Is it fair to say that sort of coming into this third game, it's actually the senior batters, probably you, Paul and Andy, who need to do that?
Yeah, I think the stats would tell you that. Is to try and one of us has to go in and try and get a big score and, try and put a score on the board if we bat first or, batting second, try and chase the totals. So, we're well aware of that. It's nothing new. And, obviously from my own point of view, it's to try and, put in a performance and put in some runs to help the batting unit fire. So, there's no extra pressure on me or, I can't speak for Andy or Paul, but, certainly I'm not putting any extra pressure on myself to go out tomorrow and try and prove people wrong or, try and, do whatever like that. I'm just going to go out and play my own game. And if, the ball's there to hit, I'm going to try and hit it. And, if tomorrow's a good day for me, it is. And if not, I'll try and work hard on Wednesday or Thursday when I get home to get better.
I guess you're sort of the experienced head now in the middle of the order, especially with sort of Tector coming in for Porterfield this series. Have you felt a bit like that, sort of batting with the young guys?
No, I love it. I love batting with the young guys. I think, they want to ask you everything. They want to try and, take the knowledge that I have. And, for me, I just try and keep telling them to, just play aggressively. And, if the ball is there to hit, try and hit it. So I think the more we can keep it simple from a batting point of view, ultimately the results will probably become more consistent. So, it's ultimately for me, I just try and tell the boys to watch the ball and, play their own natural game. And if it's there to hit, back themselves to play the shot and execute it.
Yeah, I think Adil Rashid's got you in both innings so far. Does it frustrate you, given you got, a pretty decent record against leg spin over the years, to be out to him twice?
Well, he's a very good bowler. I think, we saw that last year in the World Cup. He's a bowler that England looked to take wickets for them. So, I'm not surprised he's bowled, a lot to me in this series. Judging he is one of their main wicket takers. So, yeah, listen, I suppose if you look at stats over the last, my career or whatever, I'm not sure, what I average against leg spin, but, certainly potentially maybe not playing as much as I have done or would have needed to face a quality spin bowler has had a little bit of a negative effect on me. But, ultimately I've felt good in the nets and in the warm-up games. So, yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting out tomorrow if selected and trying to put one against Adil and try and get a win for the team.
And just last one from me, has there been sort of any message indication from Andy about what the side might be? Is it maybe a chance to sort of look at anyone we've not seen yet, or is he going to sort of stick with the same guys?
I don't know. You'll have to ask him. Usually we find out on the morning of the game, so we're still obviously 24 hours away from the match, so it's wait and see.
Sure. Cheers, mate.
Thanks.
John Etheridge, lovely kitchen, John.
You just mentioned that your sort of plan is to move into coaching. Have you spoken about a sort of time frame for that? How much longer you might carry on playing before you make the switch?
Well, it depends how long my body lasts, really, and if I'm still enjoying playing cricket, which I am. But I suppose if I was to give you a broad range, probably post 2023, the 50 over World Cup, sometime around there. If I'm still playing well and still warrant a position in the squad and in the team. So there's a lot of cricket to be played before then. But I think I'm 36 now, so if I can go for a couple more years, it'll be a fitting end, I suppose.
And that would be the ideal would be to get some sort of coaching job in the English county game. That's a good place to start.
Anywhere is a good place to start with, just trying to gain experience. Ultimately I've obviously got a family back home with 2 kids, so obviously I can't uproot, and it's harder to uproot when kids are in school. So it's as I said, that's a few years away. There's a lot to work on before then. I've got to get enough experience in the coaching system to warrant, a job in a county or, in the Irish setup, or if it's with a country overseas. I'm not too sure. So, it's one of the avenues I could go down. It's something I'm actively thinking about. There's 2 or 3 other avenues as well that I'm also looking at.
Have you done your badges?
Yeah, level 3 out of 4. So, I've got 1 level to go.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Thanks all. The selectors are meeting now or very shortly. We'll announce the squad, the 14 tomorrow, this afternoon.